Hello and welcome to another Football Manager 2015 Tactics 101 video. Today we're going to have a look at a general controlling tactic, and when I say control, I don't mean like a Barcelona tiki-taka kind of tactic. I mean a more general kind of, we're looking to control possession, but you know, we're not going crazy with it. So let's jump right in. As you can see here, I've got one of my favourite formations saved up here. The 4-2-3-1 is my general use formation that I pretty much use for every team. Mentality, you want to select control. It's generally looking to keep the ball while maintaining a level of attacking intensity, but you're not going overboard. You're wary of the counter attack, and you're generally looking to keep possession throughout the match. In terms of team shape, I usually go for flexible because it's a good balance between structure and more creative kind of, more expressive play. I think for most tactics, flexible is the way forward. If we go to team instructions, I'll just clear this and go through them. First thing I'm going to do is obvious, retain possession. That means that you basically just look to hold on to possession as one of the first and foremost, one of the aims of your passing. Shorter passing I'm going to pick because that goes hand in hand with retaining possession personally, I think. Working ball into box because, again, these are instructions that emphasise like high technique, good passing ability, and a team like Liverpool especially, this is going to work well with. Work ball into box makes players look to pass the ball into the box carefully rather than just lumping crosses in. So that goes hand in hand with these two. And the last one I'm going to go for is prevent short goalkeeper distribution, because that basically just prevents the opposition from doing what we're trying to do to them. Now, I know you're probably looking at some of these things and thinking there's more we can add here to a possession based kind of football, and I completely agree, but these four things for me are the cornerstone of this tactic, and everything else you can tweak as you see fit, but these provide such a good basis for the tactic. So what else can you add? Well, if I was maybe a couple of goals ahead in a game and looking to slow things down, I would do lower tempo, try and kill the game off a bit, or maybe if I was losing, I'd go higher tempo and maybe instead of work ball into box, I'd have, I don't know, low crosses or run at defence or whatever. But again, if I came up against a team that was using no wingers, then as you can see, we're using wide players in this formation, so I would do exploit the flanks, play wider, but they would be according to the opposition in front of me. For the most part, this would be the tactic that I would have selected. These would be the instructions I would have selected for every game, and that is the basis of the tactic. Now, taking things a step further, we look at the player instructions that I use with it. I always have one of my centre mids set as a ball winning midfielder on defend. I find that if you have that, then you can select the other centre mid and have him as a deep lying playmaker on either defend or support, depending on how risky you want to be. I'm going for defend a lot at the moment. So then you have a good balance. You have one midfielder who's a bit more combative and is looking to win the ball and recycle possession to your more creative players, and you have a player next to him who's capable of running the show, and he's going to be the one spreading out all the passes, looking to create chances for others from deep. In front of them I have an attacking, I don't know why it's set to advanced playmaker, it should be attacking midfielder. I have an attacking midfielder on support. I don't like generally to have him on attack unless I'm trailing in a game, because I like to have that triangle there. I find that on support he stays back and helps out the other two midfielders, and without him I find that the two defensive or two deep lying midfielders tend to get overrun a bit by the opposition. And then we've got the wingers, who are always set to attack. I alternate between wingers and inside forwards depending on who I'm playing, but they're pretty much always set to attack unless I'm looking to counter a specific threat. And as for the fullbacks, well, that's down to personal preference. Depending on who I'm playing, I will go defend or support, and then if it's in the middle of a game, maybe I'm a goal down or whatever, then I'll set them to attack and try and throw everything at the opposition. But for the most part, I will either have them on defend or support, depending on the opposition. So I'm going to set them to defend, and now you can see the general shape of the team taking place. You've got the four defensive players at the back who are defenders, and first and foremost they're going to defend. Then we have the triangle of midfielders who you've got the supporting one who's going to support the attack, but he's also going to help out the two deep line midfielders, and then you've got the deep lying defensive but yet creative midfielder, and you've got the ball winning midfielder. Sometimes, depending on who I've got in my squad, I'll bring this player back, and instead of a ball winning midfielder I'll have him as a more defensive midfielder, but usually I stick him just as a ball winning midfielder. Because again, with Liverpool and teams of a similar kind of stature, there's no need to be overly defensive, because generally you're going to be superior than, I'd say, like 70% of the teams you're going to come up against. And then you've got the three attacking players at the front. One more actually on the player roles I've got. I usually have either a target man. If I have a player who's good in the air and strong, good jumping ability, and I'm playing inside forwards, then I'll usually have a target man who can bring them into the game. But the rest of the time I'll use a complete forward. He basically just does everything. He's the focal point of the attack. He'll look to score, he'll look to create chances for others. So if you have a good forward, a complete forward really is the way forward there. And good God, I just said forward a lot. But you get the idea. For the goalkeeper, I always change the instructions to the distribution. I usually have him distribute to one of the centre backs, because I will usually say we've got this centre back here who is Sarko at the moment. I will have him set as a ball playing defender on defend, and then I'll have my keeper Mignolet distribute to, I'll just do this again, distribute to specific teammate, and then I'll have Sarko who's the ball playing defender. That way we're going to look to create attacks from the back, and it's specifically going to go to the defender that I feel is the most comfortable on the ball. I haven't just specifically chosen him because it's Sarko. Usually I'll buy a more capable ball playing centre back, but it is what it is. So that way you're generally looking to keep control of the game. You're not overly defensive. I mean, if you're worried about being too defensive by having a whole 6 players set to defend, then you can have this guy on support. He'll be a little further forward, and if you're trailing you can always set the attacking midfielder to attack, but whatever, you can experiment with that a bit and see what you like. Personally, this is probably the best, having 2 support and 1 defend in midfield, but whatever, it's trial and error, and it depends on the players you've got in your team as well. But that is the tactic. Like I said, it's a fairly straightforward tactic, but I think it's a good all-rounder. I think you can use it for a lot of different teams, and you should take it, experiment with it, let me know what happens. But anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to comment and subscribe and everything. I'm going to do another couple of tactics videos soon. I'm probably going to do one doing a tiki-taka kind of, super possession based game a la Barcelona, which is a bit harder to try and recreate, but it can be done. I might look at doing a tactic that doesn't use a striker as well, because they're quite interesting. But yeah, anyway, that's it for now. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.